We are being judged. It is Judgment Day. You have had callings to go on a journey. You have to take a level of responsibility at some level. Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lucy Davis, and by the time this video comes out to you, I am going to be somewhere in a magical little place around the world, exploring and realigning the energies for you guys out there, as well as myself, obviously. You know, I do take ownership. I'm very much doing this for my future children. So I am excited to be here with you. Now, first and foremost, I wanted to jump on and wish you the happiest of Julys. It is the 1st of July when I'm filming this today. And if you haven't been to check out my energy update already, please do head over there and go and check that out. Now, this month that is coming in is going to be an absolute whopper, and it is very important that you know what you are getting yourselves involved with, ladies and gents. Now, I've explained in detail through the energy update and also the full moon update. The full moon, if you haven't looked up in the sky recently, the full moon is there in all of her glory. A couple of days and we will be on the actual pinnacle point of the full moon. So please do go back and check those two videos out. It is extremely, extremely important. We are stepping into a much faster pace that we've ever been in before. And people are saying to me, you know, Lucy, I feel things are changing on such a huge level. And people are saying to me, hey, hang on a minute, like I've noticed this, I've observed this about this person, like it doesn't feel right to me anymore. Welcome to New Earth, ladies and gents. This is what's taking place. And there's a couple of things, there's a couple of reasons I wanted to jump on today and speak to you. Obviously, my video went out on Monday. By the time you'll be seeing this, that video will already be out. And there'll be a few heartfelt messages in there. Again, if you haven't watched that, do hop back over and take a look over that. But there was a few things that I wanted to jump on and talk about today because these messages keep rattling through my head. So settling is one of them, and also the transition to New Earth. And also there's a few things around relationships that I've seen a lot of people commenting on, and a lot of people kind of like projecting, and people have been coming to me for my opinion. So you know what, as always, more often than not, I don't respond to individual emails or messages because I get so many of them. My choice is to come on here, do a cheeky little video for you guys, and hopefully this is going to find those of you that need it. So let's start just by talking about, obviously the event with Emma is going to be taking place on Friday, the 7th of July. Now, the 7th of July has always been a massively powerful day for me. If you've read my book, you know it was the day where I went to Cambodia, and I actually wrote a commitment. I wrote a promise in a visitor's book about bringing the truth to the surface. Now, this was back in 2018, maybe. So it was way before any of the stuff that's happened over the last 3.5 years, because this has been my mission for a very long time. This isn't something that I just stepped into in 2020 when lockdown and things like that took place. This is something that I have had in my heart, and I've been working with mankind for a very long time. So the only reason I'm sharing this with you is because I want to bring up into consciousness an area of New Earth today. And I also want to bring up into consciousness an area of settling. Now, there's a lot of people out there that have had callings like I've had. You know, back in 2013, I was called, like literally, you know, it's been 10 years just a couple of weeks ago that I was called by my granddad passing to step into the new version of Lucy Davis. Now, a lot of people, when there is death in their family or something like that, they go completely off the rails. And I'm not going to say that I didn't. I had a few months whereby between June and really September, where I was feeling very much victim mode. It was the middle of June he passed. The middle of September, I started getting the memos that I needed to go on a trip. And in October, I left. So what's that? July, August. So 3 months I was in this, I'm going to call it self-destruct. I wasn't as bad as I had been previously, but I was in self-destruct. I was partying, I was drinking, you know, I was doing those things. And then in the September, I got this download that I needed to go away, and I needed to do it on my own. I really needed to take time out. And it was the first time that I really felt certain about anything. Now, I had maybe the month before met a guy, and I just started dating him. And, you know, we were in this period of the honeymoon, as it is. And obviously he didn't want me to go away, but I was like, you know what, I've got to do this. I've got to do this for me. And it was the best decision I ever made. Clearly me and him didn't stay together. But we that at that moment when I decided to get on that plane and go away, that was the start of my awakening journey. What happened after that is I went back to the UK, and I kind of got caught back up in the drama. And this is what happens when you start your awakening journey. You take a step forwards, and then you get caught back up into the weeds, or the reeds, as I like to call it. And you get caught up in, you know, kind of stepping away from it. And then it was in about the April of the following year that I just got this: you have to take action. And that's when my health started being stripped from me, even more so than it had been over the previous 10 years or whatever. And it was at this point that I quit my job on the trading floor. I went through so much trauma being brought to the surface. And quite interestingly, there's some similarities what was going on 10 years ago to what's going on now. So it's absolutely wild for me. I'm watching it, I'm observing it, I'm taking the time, I'm going inwards, I'm, you know, meditating more than ever, I'm connecting, I'm doing breath work more than ever, things like that. And obviously that's to do with my lung as well, that I found out the other day. But I've always been doing breath work, but I'm doing even more of it now. So where am I going with this? My point is, there are a lot of you that have had callings. You have had callings to go on a journey. You've had callings from your heart and your soul. And then what's happened is the distractions come along, and you've got caught up in the distraction, and you've got just, you know, whether it be a man or a woman, or whether it be a person passing or some sort of drama like that. Basically, you've started on your awakening journey, and then the devil, as I like to call it, will rip the carpet from underneath your feet. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh God, and you take 10 steps backwards. And then what starts to happen is eventually you get back into alignment, and you start going, I was doing this. And that's what happened to me in 2014. Now, the reason I am saying this is in 2014, I had to recognize that I had been settling. I'd been settling for mediocre relationships. I'd been settling because I was so comfortable financially. I was settling because I had security. I was settling because I was safe. I was settling in relationships. I was settling in friendships. I was settling even down to the food I was eating. You know, I was settling. I wanted to fit in. I wanted to be part of something. And it was in 2014 where what I like to call the stripping has started to take place. And I'm not talking about me taking my clothes off, ladies and gents. I'm talking about the literal stripping of everything that I knew to make me stand bare and bare my soul to go on the actual awakening journey that you guys obviously have known and seen since that date. So my question to each and every one of you out there today, first and foremost, is what are you settling for in your life? Now, this is not a forum to finger point and say, my husband this and my wife that, and I'm settling for this and I'm settling for that. Just ask yourself the question, what standards do you have in your life that you're not adhering to? What standards do you have in your life that you perhaps have let run away with you? Maybe that's speaking your truth. Maybe that is telling people to go away. Maybe that's having boundaries in place. Maybe that's the juices that you haven't been having, you know, like there's all of these hundreds and hundreds of scenarios in each and every one of our lives. Maybe you're settling because you've changed your life too much for your children, or maybe you've not changed your life enough for your children. Maybe you've let your children slip away and actually, you know, you've settled for a mediocre relationship rather than building the bond with your kids. I don't know. Like there are many, many, many different ways. Maybe you're settling for the area that you live because I've always lived here. Now, what's really fascinating, I've had a number of people visit me recently in my new home, and every single one of those people have gone, what am I doing living where I live? Like, what am I doing? And it's not because they're disappointed in where they've been. They're just like, there is a whole world out there that I'm not embracing. And I want to be honest with you guys, you know, it took 3 or 4 different callings in many different ways for me actually to pay attention and for me actually to listen to where I was supposed to be. Now, do I think this is going to be my forever home? I don't know. Do I think this is going to be where I put down my roots? Genuinely, I don't know. But I do know that I was called here, and what I'm going through at the moment and the circumstances that I'm finding myself in right now, this is about me leveling up. This is about me finding my voice. This is about me saying, you know, this is my place in society. This is about me taking my honor back, my inner goddess back, activating that inner warrior that you guys know, and really, really allowing her to thrive rather than settle. So many people have said to me over the years, now I left the UK in 2017 and I very rarely went back after that. I was back for COVID because I got trapped there. But I very rarely went back. Like literally since 2017, I have been on the road. And people always say to me, you know, Lucy, we loved having you here. You know, we miss you when you're away, but my God, does it suit you? Does it suit you, like being alive, being in a country where there's sunshine, being in a country where you can literally grab your fruits and vegetables from the ground and from the trees and stuff? And that's the truth. I had got so complacent and so satisfied for all of my life being in the UK because, you know, these standards that had been put on me unknowingly, and obviously I'd accepted them, so I take full acceptance of that. I'm not saying that anybody held a gun to my head or did anything like that. I'm not saying that, but basically it was a case of, well, you know, like a woman over 30 shouldn't really do this because she's not going to find a husband and she's not going to get married and she's not going to have kids and da 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 da. And I actually played that game for a while. I did play that game for a while, and I actually believed, and I actually listened to what people said. Oh, you can't have kids later on in life, and you can't do this and you can't do that. And, you know, you do listen to these people until you go, hey, hang on a minute. I'm not playing by anybody else's rules. I'm not playing anybody else's life. Like, this is me. I am incarnated as Lucy Davis this lifetime. I don't care who I might have been in a past life or where I may have been. I'm Lucy Davis this lifetime, and I'm not going to settle. I am going to go out there and I'm going to live the life that is destined for me. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to enjoy every single morsel, every single crumb that gets shown to me. Every opportunity that I have, I'm going to turn it into a dance. So, ladies and gents, I would just like to bring it up into your consciousness today. What are you settling for? Are you settling for having that ring of fat around your gut? Are you settling for not being able to go to the toilet in regular intervals because, well, I like eating the bread? Are you settling for somebody that drinks way too much alcohol? And I've had a lot of people reaching out to me about their husbands, particularly drinking way too much alcohol. Are you settling for this because, oh my God, we're so intrinsically tied? You know, we've got a house together, we've got finances together, we've got kids together, or whatever else. You know, I'm not the person that says, you know, oh, just cut your ties and run. I'm not. For me personally, anybody that comes on any of my programs, I say, look, give me 6 months, especially my 12-month membership program, my Self-Love Club membership program. I say, give me 6 months. I need 6 months of your time before you run away from your relationship, because you might end up being the bloody cause. You might end up being the problem. You know, and we do have to take a level of responsibility for ourselves in that. But I am going to talk about relationships, and maybe this is a nice segue in. A lot of people have been sharing information that whatever relationship you have with yourself, you're going to call in. Whatever you put out, you're going to get back. And I agree with this so much on so many levels. However, there is a but. I don't believe every single relationship is about what you're putting out, you're getting back. What I believe is that some of us, and I'm talking everybody, I'm not just talking about me here, everybody has made commitments this lifetime. So let's say, for example, there's a woman that you really like, and, you know, there's just something about this woman, but, you know, you've heard from everyone, she's a bit promiscuous and she's a little bit naughty and she plays a bit and she cheats a bit and all the rest of it. So, but you've got it in your head that you really want to be with this woman. And normally when this happens, it's because you have got a lesson to be learning with, or you're going to be giving a lesson to that person. So I kind of want to open that banner a little bit in regards to relationships, ladies and gents. And yes, I believe that we call in a level of which we are putting out. So if you love yourself, you are gonna call somebody in that at least pretends to love themselves. Okay. So look at the lessons, but be bloody honest with yourselves about this, ladies and gents. There are still so many people out there it's like all their fault. It's the blame game. It's the finger pointing that takes place. Like, you have to take a level of responsibility at some level for everything that you experience. Now, I agree with that no matter what, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, whether you are a teacher in a lesson or a receiver of a lesson, like, you've got to take responsibility. You asked for this. Like I say, there are so many people out there that are still playing the blame game. And what's going to happen with this is, obviously, relationships break down. Relationships are breaking down so rapidly at the moment. Like, honestly, anybody brave enough to get into a relationship right now, honestly, you have my heart, you have my full support. Like, I am literally cheering you on, from the sidelines over here, because right now people are getting lessons so quickly in relationships. They really are. And what's also happening is that unhealed people are jumping from one to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. And more often than not, they've got them lined up even before the previous one is over. And this is unhealed. This is what I'm now learning to be narcissism. I honestly, I don't know. I think I might have said this recently. I don't know where this word has come from and how it has just all of a sudden exploded onto the scene. But my goodness, the number of people that are coming to me, again, my throat is being attacked. Somebody really doesn't like me talking about this subject. So weird. Every time I say that word, something comes at my throat. Very interesting. So yeah, basically, relationships are really teaching people a lot at the moment. They're teaching people how to put boundaries in place. They're teaching people how to speak up. A lot of people are so scared of speaking up, like I say, because they're worried about the money, or they're worried about the repercussions, or they're worried about having to have difficult conversations. Now, my advice during this is look at everything as a lesson. If something's going to last, it's going to last. People don't run away from people that they are truly, truly in love with. Okay, it's the fundamental truth. People run away when either they are faced with something that they physically have gone, you know what, I have to put a boundary in place with this. Like, I cannot take this anymore, whether it be abuse, whether it be cheating, whether it be whatever it is. Like, you get to a point where you're like, nah, no more. The other reason people run away is because they're scared. The other reason people run away is maybe they're seeing something in their partner that they're not prepared to deal with in themselves. But there are many, many avenues of this. I do not believe that it is literally as simple as one thing. The evolution that we are going on at the moment as humans in every area of our life. Like, I cannot eat food at the moment and feel comfortable. It's so bizarre. I have tried so many different dishes. I've tried all sorts of different things. The only thing that I can eat at the moment is fruit or raw veggies. It's so weird. Anything that I try and eat that is cooked, and I have given it a bloody good go, ladies and gents, you know how much I love my food, but I just can't do it. So I'm on juicing at the moment. I'm on fruits. I'm on loading on that kind of stuff, because I physically, as soon as I eat anything that is cooked or that's not perhaps, in its raw fashion, my body's going, nah, don't want it. And it makes me feel really heavy, and it's making me feel lethargic, which is going to be really interesting when I'm on the road. So we're going to see how that one pans out, but it's the truth. At the moment, it's very, very difficult for me. But again, this is it. Like, it's about the relationship you've got with your body. Excuse me, it's about the relationship you've got with money. It's about the relationship you've got with people. It's about the relationship you've got with your car or your home or your things or Mother Nature. Mother Nature is such an interesting topic right now, because we are stepping into a really beautiful space whereby we are choosing whether we're going to New Earth now, and you're choosing that by the way you are treating people, the way you are dealing with things, the way you are eating food, the distractions that you're allowing to take place, the way that we are literally treating the earth. She is either taking us in and loving us, or she is rejecting us. Okay, now there's many warnings around the world of tornadoes and hurricanes and volcanoes eruptions. And guys, I have been predicting this for many months, many months, and it's been happening for many months. But at the moment, it's like coming to the crescendo, if you like. And Mother Nature is basically saying, look, I'm showing you what I'm doing with things like the Schumann resonance. I'm showing you the DNA coding that is coming in. I'm showing you the sunshine. I'm showing you the absolute glistening. I'm showing you by the awakening. I'm showing you by shifting consciousness. I'm showing you by all of the signs that I'm giving you. But then there are people that are recognizing that they're not actually going to benefit by people awakening. They want people to stay in a suppressed state. Normally that's with medication. Normally that is medication to keep you dull. I don't care what the medication is. Medication keeps you dull. Likewise, the distractions of fear. Now, I know this triggers the heck out of a lot of people that follow me, but I'm not just talking about the perpetual fear through the news channels and newspapers and things like that, and on the radio stations and television. I'm talking about right here on your dog and bone, as they say in London, on your phone. There is social media, and constantly people are perpetuating fear. Oh my God, this is happening, that's happening. This is what's happening over here. This is how you should be thinking. This is how you should be feeling. Ladies and gents, get rid of it all. Get rid of it all. If you want to step into new earth and you actually want to be one of the chosen ones, like I shared this on Conscious Conversations last week. If you want to join that community, join it. Honestly, I share some amazing insights. I know that sounds like I'm blowing smoke up my ass, but I just channel information and I share it. So last week, I actually channeled that the 3D world is shrinking. And that is why so many people are choosing to pass right now. There's a lot of mental health issues coming up. There's a lot of issues that are coming up just, with health. And it's because the 3D world is actually shrinking, because the rate of what people call ascension, the rate of people stepping into their heart space, stepping into the light, is shifting. So of course, this world is shrinking. Now, the reason the people in this world are panicking and creating more drama is because they want to be one of the leaders of that world. Now, do you want to just be a number in a world that is peaceful and happy, or do you want to be a leader in a world whereby you can perpetuate fear and you can perpetuate the income and things like that? And this is the crumbling of the 3D world. Now, what's really fascinating is this is what happens sometimes. My brain works a lot quicker than my mouth. What's really fascinating right now is that we are in a place whereby a lot of people are perceiving themselves to be of the light. So, good question. What is the light and what is the dark? How do we know? The way I'm going to say this to you, ladies and gents, is you are being based on the way you treat everybody, not just some people, everybody. You are being judged essentially by, I explained this again, I think it might have been on Conscious Conversations, but I see there's like a panel of people from God all the way through to angels, all the way through to whatever, pixies, goblins, fairies, for all I care, whatever. We've got a panel of people and they're basically saying, right, does Lucy Davis come from her heart with every single interaction that she makes with animals? Tick, without any question. I am on my hands and knees with all of the animals that I possibly can. I am loving them. The only thing that I run away from is snakes, but I think I'm forgiven for that. I still love them, but I'm forgiven for that. Number 2, does Lucy serve? Does Lucy leave people better than she finds them? More often than not, yes. Does Lucy put healthy boundaries in place? Yes. Even when she's telling somebody to get stuffed and put a boundary in place, does she do it from love? Yes. This is the way that we're being looked at. Does Lucy love her body? Does Lucy look after her physical vessel enough for it to ascend? Yes. Does Lucy look after her mind? Does Lucy take time out and sit in peace and go to nature and meditate and da-da-da-da-da? This is how the process works. It's not about bringing the truth to the table. It's about walking your talk, ladies and gents. It's about building relationships. It's about helping people create abundance. It's about sharing and caring. It's not about what can I get from this? How can I hurt that person because they hurt me? No way. And this is Judgment Day. If you are somebody who is creating a situation and you are hurting another person just because maybe you're hurting, that's not of the light behavior. If you are withholding things, if you are projecting, if you are bitching and backstabbing and, you know, all of that stuff behind closed doors, that's not of the light behavior. Of course, you can share the truth to your friends, to your families, to your loved ones. But when it comes down to a fabricated version of events, that's where God steps in and implements karma. Now, every single one of us are going through karma right now. Every single one of us without fail. All of us are being judged. And I don't like to use that word because I really don't want us to be being judged, but it's the truth. We are being judged. It is Judgment Day. And the Judgment Day finale or the Judgment Day outcome is whether we ascend or whether we stay in this shrinking three-dimensional world. If you do not have good intentions with everything in your life, now, I'm not saying your good intention is I need to divorce my husband so that he's free. I need to divorce my husband so he can go and explore his journey or whatever. Like people often go, oh, well, that means I've got to stay with my partner, or, oh, that means I can't fight this person because of, you know, whatever reasons, to see my children, for example, or to get the money returned, or whatever that circumstance or situation is. No, I'm not saying that. Standing up for yourself is a God-given right. It's the way that you do it. It's the way that you hold yourself. It's the way that you present yourself. If you are running around tittle-tattling more to the point, and trying to get a group of people to come with you to, you know, perpetuate that feeling that you've got, trust me, God is not going to be light on you. That is not light behavior. You might be doing really beautiful work out there, you know, but trust me, you're not going to, it's about the whole package right now. And this is how we get into New Earth. This is how New Earth is being created. People are pissing about. People are pissing about, thinking that this is just another game. You should be able to witness by what is happening on the planet. We are seeing people, literally good, healthy people, collapsing. And I'm not talking because of this. I'm talking literally crippled, dropping to their knees. We're seeing people all of a sudden like going through these journeys that look really painful. Why? Because they're being asked to level up. Are you going to choose the light, or are you going to keep lying? Are you going to choose the light, or are you going to keep pretending that you've got good intentions, but actually behind closed doors, you're siphoning money from people? Like, this is what's happening right now, ladies and gents. There is no hiding from it. We are in, you know, some would probably call it the rapture. You know, this is the period of time that we're in. Just because God's not striking us down with lightning, like, what do you think is happening? Treat everyone with kindness. Treat everyone with love. If you owe someone something, frickin' call them up and give it to them. Apologize. This is where we're at in life right now. And this is what New Earth is providing. It's showing us in the skies. It's showing us with the behavior. I've been telling you guys to watch the water for freaking months. If you haven't seen what's been going on in the water, then I don't know where you've been at. You know, like, I don't know where you've been at. I've also been sharing the fact that we need to watch the land. Mother Nature is purging right now. She's had enough. And there are many signs going off all around the world that that is the thing that is taking place right now. Every single area of life The banks, you know, I predicted in one of my videos something about JP Morgan. I don't even remember what I predicted, but I predicted something about JP Morgan. And JP Morgan has been apparently, I don't know because I don't watch the news, but someone messaged me saying that JP Morgan has been charged with, you know, hiding loads of emails or deleting loads of emails. They've also been charged with a couple of other things. There's also like, you know, in the investment banking world, there's a massive purge of staff with Credit Suisse and UBS. I used to work for UBS. Credit Suisse offered me a job. Like, it is so close to home right now. And it's everything that I have been channeling. It's everything that I have been sharing with you guys through my content, through my videos. Where do you think I get this information from? I don't have insider information. I don't have somebody telling me. I just have this connection. And the reason I get this information is because 99% of the time it is from purity. Now, I know that there will be people out there that say, I don't agree, Lucy's pure, you know, because they've become bitter towards me or whatever. I don't care about that stuff. I send them love because I know the more I'm bitter with them, the more bitterness is coming at me, and I ain't having that. No way, not on my watch. It doesn't mean I'm not going to tell a motherfucker to fuck off. Just so you know. Sorry about the swearing. I'll put this video out late, so it's so kids are in bed. It does not mean I am not going to tell somebody where to go or what to do. Oh gosh. The times are changing. It's all about to fall. And I don't mean literally fall, but what they keep showing me and what they're telling me right now is that they're actually giving me the place of Rome needs to fall. Rome needs to fall. I don't think they mean literal Rome, but who knows? Some of the work that I'm doing over the coming 10 days, who knows what's going to come off the back of it, but that's what they're showing me. Rome needs to fall. And I'm seeing, like, you know, the big pillars, like the big pillars of the buildings, I'm seeing them collapsing and literally that, like the stones and the bricks and mortar, like falling. Like I say, I don't think that's a literal, who knows, but I feel it is, there's a significant shift that is about to take place. People are showing themselves. People who are pretending to be something that they're not, again, they're going to get burned. People who have been putting people down, like this is a big one right now. I've noticed it very, very quickly. A few of my friends have been sharing things with me, kind of like being a bit derogatory about somebody, or, you know, they've been telling me about somebody's been being derogatory and instantly they've been getting karma. And this is what's happening right now. If you've been putting somebody down, especially somebody who's doing God's work, especially, you know, even if you're mimicking people right now, like imitation is supposed to be flattering. I don't think it is. I really don't think it is. I actually think it's quite insulting that you are belittling yourself enough to pretend to be somebody else. You know, I couldn't ever pretend to be anybody else. Like, I'm so me. And trust me, I've had people say to me, can't you just fluff it up a little bit for me? And I'm like, no, because that wouldn't be me. Oh, Lucy, can't you be slightly less brutal? No, I can't. Why would I fluff up who I am? Why would I change who I am when I am authentic in my speech? And I'm not for everybody. But then I have clients, like I had a client this morning in New Zealand. She messaged me and I said, babe, you're not going to want to hear what I've got to say, but I've got to say it. And I'm going to say it brutally. So just know that I'm saying this with love. And she's like, I never get triggered by you anymore, Lucy. You know, I don't get triggered by you because you know what? I know that it makes sense. I know that it's right. But there are the unhealed people or the people that aren't prepared to do the work that are copying you or imitating you, or they get triggered by you. God, I've gone off on a right tangent since that came through, hey? Recognize. Nobody can be who you are. And again, this is about relationship. This is about relationship with self. Why would you even want to be somebody different than who you are? Ladies and gents, go to my description field. Description field, I guess, to this video. And in there is a program called the 5-Day Breakthrough Program. It is £7.77. It is so cheap, less than 15 Aussie dollars. And you can basically sign up for a 5-day program with me, whereby I help you, I hold space for you to figure out who you are in this 5-day breakthrough program. If you've already bought it, remember, you can go back and do it again and again and again and again. And I encourage you to do that. Do it as many times as you see fit to do. Okay, you can literally go and repeat that as many times as you like. So the key messages from today, ladies and gents, are stop settling. Stop trying to pretend to be somebody that you're not. Be yourself. And if you are like, well, I don't really know what my position's going to be in New Earth because, you know, I used to do this and now that's not going to go through from old Earth into New Earth, then just surrender it. Surrender it and be like, you know what, I'm open to being guided. Don't mimic people. Like, that's really sad. Don't mimic their language or what they do. The only thing worse than mimicking somebody is putting somebody down for what they do and then mimicking them. That's karma. That's going to be a big slap from God when the time is right. Remember, this is all about relationships. We are stepping out of the individual world. And I said this on 2/2/22. So it was my birthday, 2nd of the 2nd, but in 2022. I actually said, we have officially stepped out of the 111 world. The 111 was very much about self. It was very much about creating individuality, figuring out who you are. The 222 world is very much about partnerships, collaborations coming together. And this is why relationships are so under the spotlight. You know, under the energies of this full moon, under the energies of July, Venus is really, really prevalent. So it's about relationships. Now, relationships are about with your exes, about with your currents, about with your kids, about with your partner, your parents, about with, you know, your work colleagues, about everything. Not just, I'm going to nurture the relationships that feel good, or I'm going to be nice about people. Like, a massive red flag that anybody should ever hear in relationships is if every single person that someone's been with before is horrible. It's a massive red flag, ladies and gents. Relationships are under the spotlight in such a way because you are being shown your discernment. You are being shown your love. You are being shown where you are at with you to a point. Some of us are very bravely taking on lessons, harsh lessons at that. However, it's all good. You know that you're here to do God's work. So we step through it, we adjust ourselves, we step through it again, we adjust ourselves, we step through it again. Ladies and gents, this is why I wanted to talk on this subject. It's the brutal truth. We signed up for this experience. And as I've said previously, more often than not, the people that are really hurting us in this lifetime, they're our soulmates on the other side. And I'm like, you wait till I get back there, I'm going to kick your butt. You know, like, that's the thing. On the other side, they are literally our soulmates, which is so bizarre. But some people aren't ready to heal this lifetime. And you know what, ladies and gents, that's okay. It's okay. Maybe they're not ready to heal with you. Again, that's okay too. But at some point, we have to change the record. We have to change the record of it's always them. You can't always be the hero or the victim. You can't. Sometimes, as my book very clearly stipulates, from head to heart, sometimes you're the villain. And if somebody is always saying that they are the victim or they are the hero, please let that be a red flag, ladies and gents. This is how we're recognizing who's speaking the truth and of a vibration now. It's when people can actually own their stuff. Now, obviously, you need to watch them for a while. You have to watch them for a while. Can't keep this blame game going. This is a message, again, to all the light workers and starseeds out there that I know are going through hell right now. So many of you have been telling me, I am dancing with the devil. I am walking through hell right now. So I'm hoping that these 3 messages that I've brought through today around New Earth, around relationships, and around settling, I'm really hoping that this is going to be everything that you need to help you evolve, to help you step forwards, and to help you recognize that love within you is everything that you could ever need. Ladies and gents, this will be going out before I am home from my mission. So if you feel drawn, please do send love and your light and your you know, whatever, your protection and everything. It is so gratefully received. I will be out there. I've got 6 countries, minimum 6 countries to do in 10 days. I'm excited. I feel very privileged. Like I say, I've been putting this mission off for a very long time, but I feel so aligned to it now. This is what we came for. This is what we incarnated for. And I can't wait to share more of it about when I get home. Okay. For those of you coming to the event with Emma and I on the 7th of July, I really do look forward to seeing you there. Oh my gosh, the last one was wild. It was absolutely wild. You can still get your tickets, ladies and gents, by clicking below. All right. I love you to the moon and stars. I hope this message lands really beautifully and safely for you. And I will see you next time. Take good care of yourselves.